Hello, welcome to Talking with ILM Practitioner, volume number 11. Yay! Double thumb up. For those who I'm meeting for the first time, my name is Sahara. I am ILM Method Practitioner and Movement teacher based in Toronto, Canada, where it's actually now snowing. We're about to have a snowstorm, so it's I'm just looking out right to the window where the fluttering snow are falling down, and yes, today we have a special guest. Well, she's gonna laugh when she joins. Katarzyna Brzezinska. I think I need a review of her last name. I've heard it so many times, and somehow I can never successfully say her last name. But beautiful practitioner. I think she go by Kasia. I call her Kasia Nova. But I think I'm the only person who calls her that way. She's a fellow dear practitioner. We've done the basic course together, movement, the advanced course together. Throughout the basic course, actually all four meetings, we were roommates, and I had a quite sentimental moment in advanced class at the end because I realized she was the very first person I got to practice with on the table when we were in the first meeting of the basic course. So I'm just so excited that she get to join and get to hear her stories and spend time here on live. So thank you for joining. Hi, Tom, and here is the go live with accept, and you should be able to join, Kasia. Here we come. Yeah, so
Oh, we did it!
wow, flawless entry.
Great.
Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for invitation.
My pleasure. And I just realized I'm so sorry, Kasia, that out of like all these years, I still really fail completely to say your name. So please introduce yourself and so everybody can actually know how to say your name and learn the real version.
Real version.
Yeah.
There are many versions. I got used to it. Living abroad since 12 years. So yes, I am Kasia for to make it easier. Full name Katarzyna Brzezińska.
Brzezinska. Brzezinska.
Yes, and I'm Ilan Lev method practitioner, movement teacher, and also improviser, movement teacher, and performer. Yeah, and I live in Berlin. I'm from Poland.
Yes.
And where have we met for the first time?
Exactly. I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, why did I start calling you Casanova? Like, because no, you know. But then I remember that, like, that in our course when we first started, there was three Kashas.
Yeah, and you had to make a difference. There had to be some difference between discussions. So I was Casanova.
Of course, I knew was Nova because there's a bakery in Toronto called like Nova Era, and I asked, like, what does that mean in Polish? And you're like, Nova is new. I'm like, oh, I like it. You're Casanova.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of accepted. I was like, yeah, I'm Casanova. And actually, I call you Sahara Nova also, right?
Yes, New Sahara. Why not?
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you for joining. And like first, I want to just get into the meat of the question of like, how did you meet Ilan Lev method?
Well, how did I met? I met it. I was actually thinking. I was looking at through the question you sent me before. Oh, I had to prepare. Okay, what do I have to prepare? Yes, so I try to remember. It was probably 2014 or 15th. It was at the workshop with Yaniv, CI workshop, contact improvisation, and it was organized by Aga, Dorota, and Ksenia, and they introduced for the first time an idea that they might bring this method to Poland, like to Europe, basically. And for me, it was kind of because I was looking for something. I was really looking for something that I can work with the body as educated artist, because I'm from education, also a visual artist, and I worked a lot with clay, with ceramics before, and somehow dance and movement came on the way. And I really wanted to use this skill of moving and using my hands to support people to heal. So I'm searching for body work basically for a long time, and I heard it then, and for me it was like I fell in love. I fell in love right hearing what is this in love? What is it? It felt very playful. It felt very free and creative from the way it was presented, and then in real, it's become that it's true. So I said yes, I'm in. So it was kind of the falling in love from from not seeing like a blind date. For me. Yeah.
Like, let me go back, like, because I didn't realize you, because I knew you were a mover with the dance and like, but I didn't know you were like you did ceramics.
Ceramics. Yes, yes, I studied ceramics.
Was it before that
We
or?
go spiraling. I think it's when we are searching for things we really feel in the heart. We are starting somewhere and we are spiral in. And for me it's kind of I was searching for that through my life, what is my thing, and become the movement, become the dance, become the touch, become the working with the body. And Ilan Lev also came on the way to be part of this experience.
Was the ceramic before the dance, or the dance and then ceramic, and like what was the how
It
did
was before. No, it was kind of on the way. Like first was ceramics, and then movement comes on the way. It was kind of like making me realize that that things outside, they are not enough. I want them. I want a full embodiment of it, and therefore it was a search of experiencing a movement, or experiencing and becoming the thing I'm creating, and going into that and into the movement through especially working with touch. And yeah, that was kind of my way to make it real, to make it tangible.
I did not know this part about
This
you.
is now it's revealed.
Were you like, how did you get into the ceramic? Like, were you always like had a urge for the creatives, or did something trigger to wish you to enter into this creative? Like, how did you start?
Um, wow, we go really back. Unravel. Uh, well, I've been always creative child, and the ceramics, or like the, let's say, working with a form was kind of a big part of my form, or like with let's say expressive arts. I grew up as I grew up in a theater. Like my mom, she was working in a theater, and then somehow these elements of having this, let's say, some kind of thing that it's happening around, and then working with space. Actually, because it can go in many different directions, and I know with myself I have to really control my mind, because it's like travels. And I realized a lot of times that anything I do, it's about space. I'm fascinated about space, and also I think the movement is about space. And what I find, for example, in the method, it's this accomplishment of me searching for space. Space inside of the body and space outside of the body. Yeah, so basically it started my journey with the art. It started very early in my childhood, and then it was traveling through working with visual arts, and then working with performing arts, and then working with movement and body work.
Wow.
Simplify.
Oh, and I sorry, I got really curious. So this might be like a bit hard question, but like because I totally relate to you in terms of like being curious and excited about space. But what was it that you felt very attractive to movements and body as opposed to things like, let's say, architecture or building, or like space can also have so many like way to access, like it's different medium, I guess. And what was it about the body and the movement like that felt like was something that you felt connected to?
Yes, so basically because in a way, if you create, let's say, a sculpture, just going back to this, think of being with an object, there is first of all dialogue already there. It's happening in the space. There is a space in between, there is a touch. But what I was missing the how to say, experiencing it in all my body. So I was really missing this, that it goes really out of its form. And actually, what I did on my graduation work. My work was about movement, and I really was working on capturing the movement, and that it's kind of gives this impression that it's actually going out of its form. So for me, it was actually an entry out of the form into the movement, basically. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I forget about it, and it's really nice to go back to this because I don't realize it was really somehow very nicely connected, the path that I was following, and but we forget about these things. This is really interesting.
Very interesting for sure. And like when you were in like search for, I guess, you mentioned that you were working with the play and the movement, and somehow you wanted to go back to the touch. What was it about the ILM method that you felt more in line as opposed to some other modality? And did you maybe practice something else before, or was the ILM kind of the first entry into, um, I guess, being a practitioner of body work, for lack of a better?
Well, I've experienced. I didn't practice a particular method before, but I had been studying also for a while body mind centering, which I really really appreciate, and tried also Feldenkrais, which I also really love. But somehow inside of me, I couldn't really commit. So for me, it was more like, what is this? It's kind of like searching for the ideal partner. So it's like, where is this that I can really resonate with? And so for me, what really draws me in the method, or like in the Ilan Lev method, was that it doesn't. It's kind of, it's open. Somehow it's had a feeling of being open enough that it gives me a certain or it offers me certain let's say perspective, which I can build on. So for me, it was like a module, let's say, which I can multiply, I can change, I can create. So for me, I feel like there is a certain, like a very big creativity that I need for that to feel freedom in whatever I do. It was a very great invitation for joining. That it's, yeah, that I felt in a way free to find my own way from the very beginning, actually. Even though I was learning how to lift, like how to lean. There was a lot of things I felt like I have to learn, like I have to unlearn also my body. But at the same time, I felt I'm really unlayering parts that I'm discovering myself in this. So I cannot really say what is it, but it felt right.
Right. And you mentioned that like you heard about the potential of the course in 2014, and I think our course started 2017, no?
Yes, because in 2015, there was like introduction, like an idea in the air that something like this is coming. So I was like, oh, I already felt attracted. And then 2016 we did first introductory course in also in Kickoff, and I joined. And then I joined 2017 the course. So I was actually on the first introductory course of the ILM method
Was it
in
your
Europe, basically.
was it your first encounter to ILM method, or did you experience?
Yes, this was the first time. I've never received treatment also before entering the course, actually. Yeah.
It's fun. I think most, like a lot of our course mates never had received treatments. And like in retrospect, I'm thinking like, wow, we were so gutsy. Like we just enter into a course that we'd never even experienced before.
It is true. It is true. I think it was. I think it was kind of a refreshment that was super needed, and I felt that it was exactly a great moment that it entered. Like I didn't felt like I'm missing something on the beginning, and after that I realized no, I really need to experience it. Like I really need to have treatments, and then I started to take a lot of treatments, and in a way now I feel like to not having a treatment, and to kind of learning the method, it's like it's a missing thing if there is somebody doesn't get the treatments. Something is that it's one, yeah, the being part of it and then receiving it, so kind of giving and receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like I already like enrolled for the course, and then I'm like, I've never even gotten treatment, and I traveled. I actually was in Berlin doing a residency, and I took a bus to the Netherlands to do like one treatment just so that I can like be so sure to join.
Yeah.
Like
I think that time it was also not so like available, no? Like we were there was a very few people in Europe doing it, and I feel like the last 8 years it's really like boom, 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 no, grow, and so many people. It's like it's wonderful.
yeah, really.
Yeah, so it was more like really looking around and searching, where it's possible. And I mean, the best way was really on the trainings, no? Like that I felt that this was the best way to experience it fully, and kind of giving the system opportunity to be fully overwhelmed.
Is there like thing particular? I mean, there's probably like so many stories from Kiko, but is there anything from the training course that you have a quite I don't know, some kind of memory that's quite distinct for you, or?
I mean, I mean, wow, it's kind of, can you imagine? It's like how many years? We started 2017.
It's 19, 20, 2018, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 7, and
Like it's kind of getting to the 8, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I cannot really recall every like particularly. They kind of become a bit more like a collage of situation, but I can really clearly see how did I change, and also I remember myself when I entered. It was actually on the beginning was quite tough. It was a tough process for me. I had a lot of like shoulder things and like a lot of tension, and I was frustrated that because through the method was like a lot of things rising up, and this is what is happening.
Will
So
you say both physically and emotionally and
yeah, it's like
psychologically?
all everything, no, like cleaning. And so it was tough because yeah, I had to face some things inside of me that were resisting the change. But I'm so thankful I stayed. I mean, I was too much curious to leave, you know. I was really too much excited to be part of the change. I think we all want to be part of the change, and I think this what for example the method gives me the most. It gives me an opportunity to really go with the change, like in a way a change is the thing, like just allow it to change. And now and now and now and now. So yeah, it's been like a wave. So I will say that it was kind of excitement, and then it was like difficult. It's like the struggle, like hurting, things popping up. But then the moment when they were like like going out, I think this moment when I realized that it's true, because in a way the method gives a lot of things like how to say, it gives excitement, refreshment, these things that we all need, and it's we all need in the world. But at the same time it might think it's fake, you know. But then when you really go in and experience these places of what does it truly give to the body, it's I feel that these moments were giving me the loudest thing and the most silence inside of me that came.
Wow.
And there where I started to feel really touched, that it's something that was really outside, a lot of things happening, it's kind of go in, and then it becomes somehow uh, yeah, opening a space for both excitement and silence, which I do feel now. I mean, maybe it's also an experience being with the method, getting to know the people and knowing all of you. It gives a certain way of confidence, let's say, but also, uh, yeah, that this calmness, that okay, it's not just a funny game, you know. Yeah, because it might seem, you know, it's like we do sometimes crazy things, or it seems very crazy, but at the same time we deal with the reality of inside of ourselves, and when it's become experiential, then it's become real. Then it's really touching a heart and touching all elements of the body and mind. And I think for me the most I remember the most moments where they were opening in something inside of me, that something in my heart opened, or I felt a release, like very strong release, like suddenly like 100 kilo went out of me, or I felt an amazing connection. So something that it's not easily happening in an everyday life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And I just like also realizing like we have witnessed each other's change throughout the years. And, but I like something I really admire of you, Kasha, is like that, like excitement within the curiosity you have, like of like wanting to learn new information, and like the hunger, it's just so beautiful. And I wonder if you have like if it's just always bubbling inside of you, or do you have like what is the
Still.
bottom of your curiosity?
um, I don't know how to answer. It's like I think it's part of my part of me also. Something I think something in me is part of it's inside of the method as well. I think it's kind of the synchronicity when we are searching. So you kind of like feel, oh, this sounds and sensed familiar. So we always mirror something, so whatever we choose.
Mm.
So, but a part of it, I feel like I love to research, and I love to try things, and I love to yeah, I mean, researching movement and this element of searching and uh, digging into things, it's hard to answer. Yeah, I like to try things. I like
Yeah.
to um, get interested, and maybe because I don't want to say because I think it's like I can already see the parallels, like as an improviser, because I'm also working as an improviser, like dance improviser and teaching improvisation. For me, there is some elements of being very curious about what is it now and how does it. So very much, very parallel words for me with the method that, and it's always update of how is it now, how do I feel, and this resonance of, do I feel comfortable, or where do I relate, with what I'm doing, with what do I relate. So this element of dialogue, maybe this is what fascinates me, the relation, no, inside, that it's so much mirroring the life, because now we are in relation, and with everything that we are, it's outside, or I mean outside, there is no outside anyway, but there is with everything that we had encounter with and have encounter with, we are creating relations. So um, I think this is what fascinates me in the movement itself, and also in the method. Yeah. Yeah, researching, like digging, like trying, exploring, playing. Yeah, this child mind that um, we all have. I think I mean, you have it too, Sarah. Come on.
I mean, yes, but like all of what you're saying now, like it's so clear, like because I've witnessed you being curious, like really digging in and like researching, and so it's very clear for me. But it's also nice to hear like how you see it too. Um, and I did since the starting of the method, like has your other movement practice changed, or did it enhance in a different way, or like how did that shift?
Um, well, yes. Yes. I learned how to move, actually. This is, I mean, I will not make jokes now, but it's really since I've dived into the method, I realized that I didn't know how to move before.
Tell me more. Like, what do you? Because I moved before, but like, how did that change, or like, how do you feel? Like, um, I think I hear you, but
Yeah,
I want to hear you.
you know what I mean.
I want to.
um, well, it's first of all, it helped me to understand my weight. Like as a mover, it helped me to understand where is my weight and the direction. So the direction of the ground. So I really like, this is also my trick now. So whenever I feel like I'm too much up, also as a dancer, I feel like I'm too much in my hair. I go to them, like I go and I trampolite. I do movement to really ground and to soften my feet and my relation of the feet with the ground. And this is the way how my feet softened so much. It's like I really started to understand how to move through the space. Yeah, after a few years of practicing ILM method. Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's really it's really great for. I really do. It's really transformative for. Uh, well, for movement education in general, no, like I don't want to now to make like big advertisements, but I do feel it's really changed how the way how I move. Yeah.
And did it change how you, because I know you also create, like, did it change the outlet within the movement, or I don't know if I'm being clear, but like, um, with like did that start that starting of the method ILM start shift your interest within the movement practice, or I mean you're always evolving, so it might, but
It's very interesting because as the moment I started practicing, I felt like I cannot follow any strength movement, or like I reduce it very much. So I stayed a lot with released practices, like really releasing, because I had for many years I've been very muscular, like been very like tight, and also trained in a way to, you know, in this way of making things. We have to make and go through the life, or like work hard. Um, and I've liked it also somehow, but then in a way it had built a lot of tensions in my body. So I've been quite struggling with flexibility. Like I really wanted to open some parts of my body which were like resisting. So what method gave me, it gave me these elements of release and place in the body. So space, basically. And then of course I was also following it and kind of how to say, translating into my movement practice. And I felt a difference. I really also felt a difference within my movement. And then through years, I feel like now I can also go back to a little bit more strength, like to working a bit with more strength, because somehow I feel like I can understand how I can navigate between the release and the tension. And it's fascinating. It's that this is actually which makes me fascinated, that to really understand and like embody, it's not just understand but embody and sense the enormous how to say range between how much like how too less, or like if you can feel how is it too less or is it too much. So this figuring out through the sensing how much I need, so nothing less, nothing more. And this is I find fascinating and the most, yeah, let's say challenging, because there is no recipe for it. It's this is the research, you know, this is the where we are. Yeah. Mm. That's why we are there still and will be.
yeah, more and more and more and at the moment like what are you playing with, what you are excited about, what kind of are you chewing within the practice or outside, or um,
So at the moment, this is exactly at the moment mm, I'm like I'm around also the language. So because I also like going to, so like a bit to teaching, I started teaching movement. So for me, what is fascinating is also how the language and imagination works. Let's say in the method and in the movement in general. And the combination of it with yeah, exactly how this amount of tonality, so like reducing and simplifying. So yeah, I'm fascinated by lately by how I can simplify things.
wow. And is that kind of with the, because I know you teach like movement practice as well as the more Vailan Live method um, um, class. I don't know why, like under more of a ILM movement practice.
Yeah.
Um, do one feel like it has shared similar kind of this simplifying idea for both, or is one more is it different practice, like is it more of a, in a contrast from one to the other of what you teach?
I mean, if I teach improvisation, I teach improvisation. If I teach ILM left, I teach what I think is ILM left. So I don't try to kind of name it differently, but definitely they influence each other. So my brain is one, so, or with many connections. So whenever I teach improvisation, I always start with how do we relate with the ground and with falling. And that's, for me, this is only the entry. How can we go from really allowing ourselves to go to the ground and then finding ways to flourish with the movement and with the relation between each other, between the bodies in the space. And when I teach Ilan left, let's say, movement class, something in my brain that loves to improvise. It's also playing with ideas. For example, like sometimes I don't have time to prepare the class, and I have an idea what I want to work with, and then I'm just observing what's happening in my body. Mm-hmm. It's a bit like with the treatment, actually. I just realized that I'm just following the certain pattern, or not the pattern, but more what is unfolding in the moment. I feel, this is opening, so I'm going to the wall, or I'm going to research this. So it's like there's, let's say, movement patterns that they are unfolding while being unfolded. Oh my God. Wow. So smart.
No, it's very clear. And like, because you've traveled, because I remember when I first met you, you were between Poland and other German cities, like
yeah, I've been in Freiburg before for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been studying there also dance and performance. And I moved to Berlin in 2021. I started kind of to move, being a bit in between, exactly. And then 2022, I've been a bit more in Berlin. And then 2023, I decided, okay, let's try to stay in one city. So I kind of, at the moment I'm here. And I mean, now I'm traveling more between Poland. So for me, the idea was also be closer to Poland. It's because it's somehow I also wanted to be connected with my family there, but I felt something in me was telling me that I need to be a little bit closer. Yeah.
And with the change between the cities and countries, like has that affected your practice by any chance, or like, or did that was it just really a part of what happened because of your next kind of interest of what was happening movement practice wise, or
maybe it's like since I came to Berlin, it's also it's kind of like things that they need to influence each other.
Right.
So since I came here, maybe I started to work a little bit less with, let's say, fixed projects, because also of funding, so it was a bit difficult to get funding. But I started to like work a lot with movement, basically, like movement research, like contact improvisation, and also like treating and organizing things around Ilan left here. But the movement becomes a kind of very central, like movement research, let's say, improvisation research, and Ilan left became like a certain central part of my practice. And then therefore also it's connected kind of people around it. So now I'm kind of opening the dig into the improvisation also as a performance part, but then on the other hand, improvisation as a movement research. And Ilan left, for me, it's like for myself, it's a holding umbrella for all of this, because I'm also giving treatments here and movement classes, and it's it's a kind of an umbrella for myself that support me on the way, but also it's how to say, it's inform all the other things, or like they are not other, but they are, of course, they have different let's say, expression, but they are part of the same, let's say, a body movement practice.
And just out of curiosity, like, do you ever crave to go back to the ceramic, or that's already?
That's very interesting you ask. Well, I said when I will be old, I will have a big house and I will have like a place where will have my, like wheel and place for ceramics. And I will definitely would love to have it, but not as a, let's say, work, but as my, let's say, maybe hobby, but or as part of my way also working with the material. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like, we go certain ways and we cannot take everything with. We just have to leave certain things behind. It's exactly what ILM says. Leave it.
Oh,
Or take it all
oh,
with. I don't know what you say. Yeah,
you do.
I have many dreams.
Yes, amazing. Now, before we wrap, like, is there anything else you wish to share, or that you are like tickling to share? Or
What I mean, I could speak and unravel my things, but I think I've shared quite the most important stuff about myself, about practice. Well, I'm treating in Berlin. Maybe I can just say people if
yeah,
they're watching. So you are invited to come and try treatment. I had the really nice espresso movement classes last year, and I opened them up in January. Didn't work, but they will come soon. So follow to
and
be.
for those not familiar, which I've been keep on wanting to join it. It's just like for me, it's the middle of the night, so it's a bit too early for espresso for me. But
Yeah.
it might it's a very
No, next time I will try also to record them and having like making them as a archive them a little bit, also to make them a bit more available
but
for people who cannot join, for example.
but for those who don't know, the espresso class you are doing is that like short class, no?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know where the espresso came name. I think somebody told me this, and I was like, yeah, this is great. I just will call it espresso movement, ILM espresso. And yeah, it's well, basically it's in the morning, so it's like instead of coffee, but it's also like a 40 minutes class. So it's not a long session, but it's more like a short thing to just do a bit after waking up, and
And it's
like an espresso movement. Yeah, not a coffee, but espresso from movement.
and
That
it's
was
on
the idea.
sorry. And it's online? It's a Zoom or
I did it online. Yes.
online? And oh, and do you have you also are teaching in Berlin? Is that true, or is it kind of on and off?
You mean Ilan Lev?
In general.
No, I'm teaching at the moment like movement improvisation, and Ilan Lev, it's mostly online. I'm giving treatments, and once, well, maybe once per year, I also try to organize like a workshop with a little bit more towards the workshop. Last year we invited Yaniv here to make an introductory workshop, which was really also gathering a lot of people interested in the method. So kind of, like trying to bring some life around the method here as well. I mean, there is also a lot of beautiful other practitioners here. So yeah, we try to meet, but with our busy life, it's not always easy.
We just all meet.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And is this Instagram link the best way to for people to find you, or is there other?
Okay. So at the moment, yes, this is the best way to find me. There is a link when it's possible to book the treatments, for example. But whatever I do, I always give information there. Last year I had a website which is now on the renew part, like I'm getting to upload it soon. It's like, yes, one part of to-do list. It's coming. So, but at the moment, yes, through the Instagram is the best to contact me.
Beautiful.
Exactly. Yes.
Ashanova, thank you so much for
Thank you,
today.
dear. It was a pleasure to just talk with you. I was from the beginning very excited when
Yeah,
you invited me, and I really appreciate what you do, and to invite colleagues and friends, and this is just amazing idea. Yeah, to me that also work, right? This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was like fascinated to hear your stories too, because I've known you for a long time, and there was still part of you I didn't know, and it's just like, yeah.
We have
I
a lot to talk, my dear.
I think both of us during the course we just get so into like digging in, and
Yeah.
so this was so nice, and I hope like for many more.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, maybe this is also the opportunity to say thank you to all the teachers, to ILM, also to kind of sharing with us this knowledge. And yeah, it's always kind of giving this gratitude. It's not, it's like, it's how can we say thank you for what we receive, but it's nice to repeat it every time and realize that this not comes from somewhere. It's also gathered by someone and transferred by people who are practicing it, and it's a gift. I think from like I see this, like there is no resistance of giving. I really feel like it's just such an open community of sharing the knowledge and like expressing also this. I think this research, this part of like this research mind, it's not just me, it's a method itself, and it's shared in the community. You can feel it. So yeah, yeah, I'm thankful to be part of it. Yeah.
And I see you very soon.
Yes, we see soon in March. Yay!
More cake.
Great.
But thank you so much again, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you, dear. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you. Ciao.